Good morning from here. Welcome back. Today we'll start with a short message from Madhaban, Joe from Baghdad.
अभी पहले एक सेकंड में पुरुषोत्तम संगम युगी श्रेष्ठ ब्रह्माणु
you. These emphasis like Baba's placing on the different forms feels like when we are free, we're able to position the mind in any of these. So the idea of learning about time, emphasis yesterday was on this freedom. So we understand what it is, we understand our journey, and this model of a film and the presentation building up from the model that we are given in society, and the contrast, understanding what this model of film means. So that was something from yesterday, invitation to share what you took from it, yesterday's reflection. And nice, this idea that we light up these slides of the film with our consciousness, and that we travel together through these slides largely, and that in dreams we might visit other slides, but we have a psychic gravity. So I had a question on this psychic gravity, but it'll be interesting to understand the subject more fully today. So welcome everyone, and good morning, and handing over to Prashant.
Thank you, and hello and good morning. So let us create another few moments of silence. And in today's Murli, and let us try and experience that also. Happy-hearted, its foundation is attainments. When the invisible witness is conscious, he is aware of the real attainments. He doesn't see the story is the place for attainments. Story means it is empty. As we saw yesterday, the stills, they come and go. They are images. There are no treasures there. But invisible witness is conscious. As opposed to ego lives in this empty world. Invisible witness is connected to the real world. And so his treasures, his attainments are eternal attainments. He knows that his world is like the biggest lottery anyone can ever win. Beyond belief. To begin with, he himself is immortal and beyond harm. Story cannot harm anyone. The stills come and go, but they don't harm anyone. There may be stills with dragons also, but they don't harm anyone. Invisible witness, he knows his world is safe. He doesn't need to check all the time, am I safe here? Do I feel safe? He is forever safe. And on top of this, his family, they are divine beings. They all are good. They are desireless, egoless, viceless. selfless, divine, noble, angelic souls, childlike and godlike. He sees this. This is without any exaggeration. All are lovely and loving, lovely, loving, and lucky. And this is the family of God with God. Invisible witness, he knows his close bond with God, eternal bond. And the nature of everyone, nature of the self, is of joy and love. If there is no desire and no sorrow, what remains is joy and love. And joy comes with friends. So, invisible witness, he remains happy-hearted, prasanna chit, content. He has no questions or complaints because down below is a great performance. He needs nothing from anywhere. There are different jokes in a drama. There will only be different plots. He doesn't question why, who, where. There are no complaints, criticisms, concerns, no questions. Nothing to crave for, nothing to cry for. That's why invisible witness is the invisible prince who belongs to the King of Kings. It is the attainments, these attainments that makes him happy-hearted. And why is he the great Mahadani, the great donor, uninterrupted donor, Akhand Mahadani? What kind of donation is he giving? In the ordinary world, it is like in a confusion, ego is helping ego is doing lots of charitable work. Everyone is confused. The invisible witness, he knows he is the prince. He sees the others. Others are also the princes, invisible princes. So do these princes, do they need giving? Do you need to donate to this? Mahadani, they are all princes. Why do you need to give to anybody? Do you want to tell? What is he giving? They all are souls. They all are from the family of God. He doesn't think giving what chocolates, giving food is not a big giving. It is uninterrupted. Food you cannot give forever. So this uninterrupted giving, what is this? What are you giving to the princes if they are already princes?
It seems like a paradox. Good question. Maybe more like congratulations. Someone's saying flying. I don't know how you give it, but maybe showing how you're flying. I was thinking acknowledgement that, as was shared, they are already princes. So see them having everything already by your presence, and just show them your true identity, and then they realize their true identity. Some kind of like signal, like a bell to wake up, to show their princes, maybe like they do in the devotion, that they ring bell, but at a subtle level, maybe. Natural transmission of pure thoughts and powers.
Yes, yeah, thank you. Yeah, the scenario is that everyone is unconscious. It is a Kabristan. When Baba comes here, and Baba sees from that Paras perspective, he is not saying that you are having a grand party. That is a party of Ravan that is going on. But the princess, all these angelic souls, they are not even conscious. It's a Kabristan. Graveyard. And it is literally like the task of reviving everyone. And it is the most necessary giving. We can go and cooperate with Ravan. That is what the whole ego is, cooperating with ego. That is happening in the world. Join the party. And that's what people can see. But the uniqueness, the difference, what Baba is saying. Baba is saying that here is the gathering of princes, and they need to be made conscious. It is not that straightforward job either, because ego is guarding. Ego is determined not to help him wake up. That is also the part of the game. So your giving will need light and might also. He has to overcome his karma. To create this ego is his karma. He has cooperated with that Ravan, that is the karma. Might and might. So with this huge task, now Baba is saying, check your accounts now. If this is required, your time, your thoughts, everything has value. But see that it is done in that highest state. Everyone having yoga, but is it mixed? Percentage of the stage. Check the yoga stage. Everyone is doing service, but is it coming from the heart? And is it reaching the heart? Do you want the others to feel they got attained? Or are you concerned about your place, your service? Is it me in the service? Service is done, actions, very good actions. Are you giving it to Mr. Ego? Then it becomes the account of Ravan. It doesn't become the account of the angel. Baba is checking the account of the angel. Ravan's account is happening in the Iron Age. They all are doing actions and creating an ego based on that. That's why, is Baba there or is Ravan there? Baba is checking the accounts. There at least some caution at all these levels. Whole thing is based on first step. He's the invisible witness conscious. And then the whole subtle dimension that becomes alive. Otherwise, the whole scenario is like everyone is drowning in the story world, and the ego is in charge. In the story world, we can create a holy corner, paint white, and but it is still the ego-based life. The whole game starts if we step out of that gross. And this moment, invisible witness is conscious. Then the game starts. Thank you. So before we go to the discussion today, anyone would like to add anything?
While others are just thinking. And today the word contentment, but like a angelic contentment that's not of this world, that helps to see where a checking, like litmus test, and it's not dependent on situation, but it's inside out contentment that you feel, and that's the treasure that others feel as well. If we're full from beyond, that will come. It's good, this safety of checking that we are being drawn to. So there are no other comments right now.
An important sketch for all of us. Now we understand how central paras is. If we do not use paras, then we as if spend our whole time analyzing and thinking about this ant world. This ant hill becomes your world. World of stills, temporary world. We are using these words, strong words, but that helps us see in the context. Ego within us is absolutely stubborn. He wants to stubbornly stay in that gross level. Our game starts only if we go beyond that gross. Then every Murli also, we understand it differently. We hear it differently. I said past is past. Put a full stop. That is, there is another Maya's tangent otherwise. But now check the new accounts, and your existence is uninterrupted Mahadani, Akhand Mahadani. Akhand translated a constant, but it has a meaning uninterrupted, solid. So to be this uninterrupted giver, uninterrupted great donor, you absolutely need to be connected to the treasures. Why Baba? Okay, question. Why Baba said uninterrupted? Your Baba doesn't say give, donate for 8 hours. Uninterrupted. Whole life is giver. Why this emphasis on the word akhand? I'll write that word, expression. Dani is a donor, Mahadani, great donor, and extra part Baba used is akhand. Akhand is something that is solid, no gaps. Why Baba is saying akhand Mahadani?
There's no limit. Perhaps you realize that you have already everything, and so it reinforces what you have. And ego is clever to take place in the interrupted gaps. Else Ravan will donate if it's not the soul, the conscious soul. It creates a continuous flow, consistent. Then one is in truth, otherwise it's coming from the ego.
Yeah, all the right, the extra part in this. The moment the donor stops, beggar takes over. If you create any gap, the beggar will be there. Beggar is not just begging, give me, give me. Beggar syndrome, beggar is comparing, beggar is complaining, beggar is, some kind of self-pity, and checking which is a good place to go for, his next business, the begging business. So beggar has his own mindset, and he is waiting for any gap. So it is nice, and givers, as we said, ego is giving everywhere, but uninterrupted giver, you can't give it gross level. You can't be giving, uninterrupted. If you are to be the akhand, then it has to be subtle. That's why it automatically makes you the yogi also and jnani also. Everything is included in this. Akhand Mahadani. And Baba used the word in that context. And you need to have a dhun. It was translated as concern, but dhun is like obsession. There's, in this case, positive obsession. You are so intoxicated with it. Dhun has got an intoxication element. Someone is in dhun, can't let go of his own, keep thinking about the same thing. So Baba is saying you should have a dhun of becoming Akhand Mahadani. So that is nice to put in place. At least let us experiment with it today. Now our subject of the time and consciousness and space. We have been talking about our model. We have our home, which is beyond time, beyond space. And that is the home of all the souls. Human, animal, the souls belong here. It's a home of sweet peace because all souls are positive. They all are desireless, egoless, and so, and that is world of God, world with God. Supreme silence, supreme peace. That is what is experienced. And these souls, they are potential players. They have a home, but just like a player. Now these Olympic participants, they all are players. And you tell them, great, you are players, stay at home, don't do anything. That is not their perfect life. They want to go on the field. They may win, they may lose, but they want to go to the place, take part. So also here, these are all players. It is not only those who are in Paris, they are the players. Everyone is a player. And we come onto this field. And this is the PlayStation. Physical world is a grand PlayStation. We don't need Olympics. There's the grand Olympics happening here. But in this play, you need to be conscious at least. If you are unconscious, then it becomes, Ravan becomes conscious. And Ravan changes it into war. Even any sport, it can change into war. There's a bitterness in a competition, sorrow means there is a war. Otherwise, it's a grand play when everyone is deeply content and safe and secure and not a beggar. Then this life is a game. So golden age, silver age, it is a game. Continuous, you are in the game. Everything is seen as extra. Game is a time when you know to win, you play to win, you also know to fail. You also know to fall, you know to start again. You enjoy the game of others. Love is not lost. Those who you are playing with your friends, you love your friends. That is more important. Game is secondary. For the ego, that secondary world has become his primary. That is the problem of the ego. That's why it becomes a war. So it is an interplay. We use the word interplay between the player and time and space. This interplay is happening in this world. Interplay is happening. But this interplay is possible only if they are properly connected to their primary world. Full intoxication of their world. Internally, they are full. Then it is a play. Sometimes people ask, we spend very little time in our home. We should have just thoughts of the drama, improve the drama. And that is not possible because the consciousness drops to Ravan. If we are not connected to the home, then the soul is not conscious. The play has become everything for you. That is exactly what the attitude of the ego is. The attitude of the ego is that this is all that matters. That is what we mean by Ravan's attitude. Our aim, confluence age aim, is to totally eradicate this Ravan consciousness. Ravan is demonic. It just doesn't remain just a war, it becomes demonic. But Ravan is also the beggar, Ravan forever the victim. All this lowest level, that is what happens. Interaction is happening. The consciousness, the soul is in the world of time and space, but he's as a demon and as a beggar and as a victim. He's dragging his time, complaining about everything, questioning. So it has changed. Something else is going on. Crossing the dotted line. So we want to get the playback. In some model, we are talking about the stills model yesterday, but in essence, it is the physical world that is going on. But one way or the other, we have to come back to this invisible player, has to become conscious. This moment right now, Prashant is talking. It appears as if Prashant is, is the one who is going to go back to the soul world. But no, Prashant remains the part. Prashant remains within this part of the gross world. Completely. He is part of that physical world. So also, everything that you see, that is all part of that empty world. We use the word. Those images come and go. Everything is going to go. Prashant is there, disappear. At the same time, right now, as Prashant is talking, the invisible witness, he is conscious and he has to remain conscious. And he understands. His world is that supreme sky. He is very interested in that sky. He knows this entire physical world is an empty world. He doesn't see the treasures here. He doesn't want anything here. Some very strong passion about this world, he knows it is from Ravan. Ravan's begging or Ravan's complaining, something going on, if there are some strong passions. Invisible witness is the invisible player, is the invisible prince. But most beautiful thing about him, he uses paras. That's why this alaukic word is lit. It is very vivid for him. That's why he understands. He's very lucky. The world of God and world with God is his world. And when we say yoga, this is yoga. And this is what we want to offer to others. Our service, what is our service? They connecting to their world. That is service. We ourselves want to connect, remain connected, see what we got. If we are not seeing what we got, this is what Ravan phenomena is, that he's not seeing what he got, so he's busy begging. And so Ravan's yoga is with emptiness. I don't have this, I don't have this. There's something is missing. Why something did not happen? Ravan's yoga is there. Emptiness. For the prince, his yoga is with fullness. He's so lucky. Look at this. He has got a great family, great home, great father. He is so lucky. He wants to remind others, you are also lucky. See what you got. Worth writing this down, this slogan, because we need these reminders. And this is at the alokik level. Alokik is more real for Paras than the physical. As we said, physical is empty. It is all gross, but Ravan is deceived by this. Those images that come, the glitter and gold. Those images go. Whereas the alokik, that dimension, is eternal. It exists forever. For the invisible brains, that is the only real thing. That is the only thing that matters. We use the word treasures and attainments, but this most important treasure here is the father and the family. He has got the wisest and the highest, as a friend, companion, and family, divine family. All are good and safe and immortal. The whole thing is like a dance, eternal dance. And treasures, this is a region of happiness and love and contentment, fullness. These are the most refined treasures. That's why he feels he needs nothing else. What he would need, what that empty world, what can it give to him? Things come and go, and he doesn't need anything from anywhere. But very happy to come in the play and see this virtual world, and but all along doesn't want to lose his inner fullness, merged or immersed, but he doesn't want to let go of that prince. He doesn't want to become a beggar. First sign of the beggar would be he gets impressed with this glitter. That is when we cross the line at some point. But more he remains full, then the play will continue. Interplay is a nice word. He plays with this word. It'll be nice. We hear some thoughts from you.
Meanwhile, just from here, was thinking about when you grow up, the processes of becoming adult and the toys you might have liked as a child. I particularly remember enjoying bright colors and usually made of plastic, and then when you grow up you think you've grown out of it, and it's naturally dispassion. So the word in Hindi, vairagya, is often translated as what is it?
Disinterest.
Disinterest. Yeah, so dispassion maybe feels a bit closer. So here, this invisible world, the adult intellect is enjoying that richness and that color rather than the color of the drama and the toys. And wherever anyone is at, you really appreciate, but everyone has their time, and your aim is to help maturity grow, like anyone who's an older sibling will meet the younger sibling where they're at, but with that kindness, help them. But everyone has their time. So that kind of interaction with the world at this stage, we are all in the process. But a natural process is to come to that mature intellect where we've played with the toy. It's a different time now. So that thought was there. There is a question that came. It was also my question. Is there a psychic gravity to the collective world of Ravan?
Now, when we use the word psychic gravity, what we are meaning by that is, let me come to that sketch. So here, what is the world of stills? And that the whole that space is different stills, all unlimited stills. And in theory, the soul, one soul can come here, and one soul can go here, and because there is unlimited stills there. Why? Freedom. There's democracy. Not everyone goes to the same place. Everyone has freedom. But in theory it is true, but in reality what happens? One person, the first soul, comes to one still, golden age still, and others don't go to some other scattered, but they all join that same still, and then they travel. The soul has arrived there into the physical level, and then he's traveling. We saw it is a cycle, traveling through the stills, and they all are traveling together through the stills. Here, all stills, they are all traveling together. That's why right now, here, this moment, year 28th of July, this moment, 8.1 billion souls, we all are in the same still here. Different corners, as we saw, there is a big screen. Some are seeing screen in one corner of this world. Some are seeing another corner of the screen. But we are in the same still, 8.1 billion. And so this journey continues. And new souls are coming down, from the home. These new souls are coming. They join where others are. They don't come in the golden age, beginning of the golden age. They come wherever the gravity is. Like say planet Earth is what is planet Earth? Many stones put together. That is what is planet Earth. So there is some stone is thrown into the air. It will be pulled to the earth. It will not just go. Gravity means that it holds together. All these stones are held together. You can throw one stone in the air. For 10 seconds, it will be in the air, but it will be pulled back. That's what the gravity is. So these human souls and animal souls, in this model, they all are pulled in the same place where others are. There is a gravity there. So in the golden age, silver age, there is no Ravan. In the copper age, iron age, Ravan is there. But the gravity is not bothered about Ravan or Ram. Gravity is where souls are. I hope I answered.
Yes.
Where the souls are, that's where the others come and join. We said in the dream and some trance messengers, in the Lokik world or Brahmin world, we can temporarily go out and experience some other stills, but gravity pulls us back. In this context, I might like to say that souls, like those who are karmatit, like Brahma Baba, he is in a position to be beyond the gravity. That is the extra power because they are free. Karmatit Jivan Mukti, there is freedom. They are free to go back home also. But also because of their freedom, they are able to take others back home. Certain number may be required, critical mass is required, but critical mass of those who are free, that is what is required. And this critical number, they start the beginning of the golden age. So they are not staying in the gravity in the world of destruction and fire. That is what will be happening at this end of the track. And the Iron Age is going in that direction, fire. But these souls who are karmatit, they are free. They are free to be in the subtle region. They are free to go back home if they want. But they are also the ones who start the new nucleus in the golden age stills. And then as time progresses, that becomes the future gravity, because those who are in the Iron Age, their destruction, and then they all are freed. They all go back home, and the new nucleus has started in the golden age or pre-golden age stills. I think you are not asking all this.
In a way, one aspect of this is there is a phenomena of psychic gravity around the cycle, but the confluence age is about practicing that freedom, detachment, in order to take others out, right? So my understanding is we detach from seeing this as reality. So in body consciousness, this has become real, as if primary. And when we have this freedom, we break that continuity of Ravan. And for example, even the sanskaras of self or others, we see the clean starting position of the self of others. So that kind of works towards this freedom. Does that make sense? Is that what you're...
Yeah, that sounds right. Nice.
Yeah.
I wanted to show the short video. Yesterday we spoke on the condition, the mental condition in a kinetopsia. It can be called motion blindness. That may be a good translation for that. And what we said there, in the medical world, there is a question, what is exactly happening? What happens with those people? They see one frame, one slide. They don't see the car moving, and they see the car 2 meters further down. So their worldview is interrupted worldview. And our explanation there is, even the film technology, when Newton first noticed that you show these colors, 7 colors at a speed, inside you see white. You merge them. Something inside our brain, we have potential to merge. To discover that film technology will work, it is extraordinary. They started showing the slides, if they are shown at a speed of more than 7 per second, 7, 8 per second, if they show, then something within us gives continuity to it. we don't see separate slides. That's what they discovered. And now when they show films, they show some 20 or 23, that sort of per second. So it becomes a very smooth, something within us. And what we are saying in some people, those who have got a kinetopsia, they are able to see this slide. Let us use another image. Say there are stills. Here is one still, here is one still. And let us say it, and ordinarily, we all will be watching the film, going through all this. In some people, they are not joining the rest of the group. Rest of the group is traveling at a speed, but one is lacking behind. One is watching this film, this slide, and then the others have moved over here. Then that soul who was here, he then joins the group. He finds himself in that still. And then, so he doesn't see the slides in between. He sees the interrupted worldview, and that explains why there is no motion for him. But for the neurologist to come to this diagnosis, and to explain what is happening, the worldview has to change. But right now, they do not know that there is a cyclical nature and it is confluence age. They don't know. All these neurologists, so there is a confusion. But we'll watch this video. I was making a joke there, but we'll watch the video, and that will give us a little bit of the idea.
Have you heard about a visual disorder called akinetopsia? Akinetopsia is a selective loss of motion vision, the inability to perceive motion. The word akinetopsia itself is pretty self-explanatory. It is a Greek word, a standing for without, kin for move, opsia for seeing. So, without move seeing. Therefore, akinetopsia is oftentimes called motion blindness. If you have akinetopsia, you have no trouble seeing stationary objects. But if the object moves, you won't be able to perceive its motion. To better understand akinetopsia, let us now see how our brain is able to make sense of what we're looking at. What we actually see is a light bouncing off of stuff. So the light comes in through the cornea, hits the lens and gets projected onto the retina, which is full of photoreceptors. Those photoreceptors, rods and cones, convert the light into electrical signals, and the optic nerve carries those signals up to thalamus and the brain's visual cortex. This process is almost the same when people with akinetopsia disorder look at static objects. They don't have any changes in visual acuity or localization abilities. However, the problem arises when there is a need to detect and process motion. The symptoms of motion blindness are believed to be the result of the damage of visual motion pathway, especially the medial temporal V5 area of the brain. This small region, which is roughly 1 centimeter in diameter, is identified to lie in the lateral cortex at the junction of temporal, parietal, and occipital lobes. When the signals through the optic nerve reach the visual cortex, they start to process within highly specialized areas. There are a number of parts responsible for functions, such as identifying motion, color, shape, sharpness. In akinetopsia, the V5 region, the principal function of which is to detect and signal the presence and direction of visual motion, is injured. Therefore, patients who suffer with this disorder perceive the smooth movements of objects as discontinuous freeze-frame images. The cease of the ability to detect motion can be the result of a stroke, traumatic brain injury, Alzheimer's disease, and other brain lesions that specifically affect the V5 region. With echinotopsia, even basic tasks such as pouring tea can become a real struggle. But hopefully, echinotopsia is an extremely rare disorder, so don't be afraid.
My friends laughed when I said I was going to start selling.
Had that moment of motion blindness. Continue to the next video. Sorry, Percent, you got muted.
It would be nice if you want to add anything, say anything.
Can it happen if somebody's very tired? This or sometimes the feeling when one is extremely tired, you almost see things frame by frame. Or it's not a different phenomenon, maybe.
Yeah, as was said, this condition is very rare, and but very interesting. And it sort of gives an insight to the physicist, I feel. It is not that much to neurologist, but it may give insight to the philosophers.
So you're saying they cannot explain it? Is that it
Yeah.
cannot?
If you are thinking in the one set model, then how come you are seeing a frame by frame, as she said? It means you are seeing one still, and then you are seeing some other still. So what is happening here? So she, the ordinary medical world, they have no understanding what this brain does, and yeah, frame by frame. That is, but it is not just frame by frame, missing in between frames. That is what really the problem. You saw she's putting tea in the cup. She sees cup at tea at one level. Next thing she sees is it is spilled on the table. She doesn't see the stills in between. She stills, so she sees one frame, and then the next frame, it is at another level.
Yeah, maybe just some comments. Someone is asking, so it's related to cognitive processing function?
All of that is going on. That is what brain injury is. But our emphasis is to understand the nature of this world, and that is what our interest here. That this world exists as frames. That's why she's seeing frames by frames. The world itself exists in the model of the frames. So right now who is watching this? The invisible soul. He is watching this world and these frames, and we are seeing it at such speed. Different frames are going past, and our real interest here is to become conscious. For the sketch that we saw earlier, of the invisible witness becoming conscious. This is Baba's interest. This is our interest. Until then, we are absolutely into the lowest consciousness. And as was said, that so-called ego consciousness, it is the Ravan also there, it is the beggar is also there, the victim is also there. It is like a pathetic situation ordinarily. and this in this consciousness is dependent on these empty stills, is clinging to things that is he has no control on. So that is the lower consciousness. We want to come out of it. We want to come back into the soul consciousness. I know if it is time for break, we can take break and then we continue afterwards.
Yes, that would be good if you have a kind of question to pose for room discussion.
First is in this empty world, do we have any bondages? In which consciousness which consciousness is current? And the other question, Akhand Mahadani, the great donor, this world, everyone is unconscious. We said that is, everyone needs help. Do we go in that world with a begging bowl? That's the second question. Do we go into that world trying to take something? Or are we going in that world to give? And what are we giving? Our discussion, this is consciousness is also part of this time, space, but consciousness. So which consciousness is dominant? The Akhand Mahadani, great donor, or interrupted beggar?
Yeah, we need a clear reference point, so something solid to come back to. So I made a version of that question in the chat. So enjoy the discussion as always, and we'll see you in just over 10 minutes. Thank you. Welcome back. Hello. It feels like a world of images on Zoom. It's nice. Should we have a minute to go beyond the motion and time and space and experience that freedom? Thank you. It was more than a minute. I got carried away. And this reminder of the home of sweet peace, it's wonderful that we are given permission to come to the essence. It's really the need. And I was thinking, perhaps this uninterrupted giving is natural part of when we know this physical world as a gift, because if you already experience feeling full and then this is extra, you don't create feeling that you need to take because you've already been given something extraordinary. So then you want to give. If you've been given a gift, you probably want to give a gift. So that was one small thought. So do share things which came up, and meanwhile let's invite Prashant back.
Thank you. Let us come back to our experience. Very central to our practice is who rather than what. In other words, not what I'm thinking, but who is thinking. Yesterday there was a reference. Then a concentration is an important thing, but not just concentration with some thought or that is happening in the Lokik world, but concentration in the context of the stage. So this moment, if we can help this invisible witness remain conscious for the rest of the day, then it is full marks. Whatever that is required. This discussion about stills and all that literally tells us that ego is so absurd, is living in the images. Stills means just images. They are three-dimensional, they are very convincing, and they are full of glitter and gold there, but they're empty. Sophisticated, convincing, three-dimensional, complete with sound and smell. Such is this each still. But at the same time, it is empty. Just like if you are in a theater, you see all the palace, but it is empty. And Ravan is fully deceived by this. And we are understanding that we have the option, the invisible witness wakes up and he is embodiment of wisdom. Just like Ravan is embodiment of ignorance. He is deceived fully and doesn't even know he is deceived. And if we connect with this, the task of our challenge is to get others out of this Ravan's spell. That is our task. Our aim is not to join the crowd and be nice in that camp. In the monkey camp. That is not our aim. Our aim is to take our invisible brothers out of that monkey camp. If we want to hold this concentration all day, then we will need that mission. And then everything is connected. Your account chart and your task of being Mahadani. And one who does is Arjuna. One who takes the initiative is Arjuna. Not many take this initiative. This has to be done. Many people are just thinking about it, planning it. One who does it is Arjuna. We often say there is a planning intellect, many have got. But our effort is not planning, not analyzing. Just doing it. And the reason is the whole planning and analyzing is Maya's cleverness to keep the invisible witness unconscious. Maya has no intention at all for the invisible witness to become conscious. That's why there is any moment we have understood. That's why we are here. We have analyzed it enough. We are here. Now is the time just that the invisible witness be conscious. This second. And his world is alokik. His world is like all are living stars with halo. World of God, world with God. He's very happy with that. It's a silent world. No glitter, no gold, no song. Silent world. But it is a real world. That is where the true family is and the supreme companion is. And every second we are conscious, we help others become conscious. There is benevolence. As we continue on our journey in the sky, on earth, our aim is for the whole day. The various programs Baba gives to us. It is the essence. And if we hold on to this, then within that is the essence of everything. This invisible witness, he is He is the only one who can be the great donor. He is the only one who can be a yogi. And what was said earlier, vairagya, unlimited vairagya. It is this witness who sees the empty world as empty. He has no plans to settle down in that story world. He is the one who can be embodiment of virtues. Why? Because he is free from the beggar and victim and demon. What we do not like anytime in others or in ourselves is this beggar based behavior patterns. Beggar, demon, these are like the lowest denomination in any society. You remove the beggar, the demon, and the victim, what remains is the noble, divine. Like the virtue life. Thank you. Nice to hear from you. If you want to share or ask.
Yes, some inquiries here
Mhm.
around this experience of the slides, the phenomena of trance, especially in the early days of the yagya. Do they experience the future golden age? That's one part. The second, how does the body continue here? Because it used to be for many days. What about practical things like meals and showering?
Yeah, good question. You know what happens is, let us say here is the physical world, and the soul is here. Physical world, there is a drama going on there in the physical world. By drama, I mean film. Film is going on. And at one time, Dadi Gulzar, she was in trance for continuous 1 week or longer, different times. These experiments used to happen with Brahma Baba at that time. And Dadi Gulzar herself was sharing this experience. So she was experiencing golden age continuous for 1 week or longer. And during that time over here, she was in a kind of a trance. Trance means she was sitting, staring at others, but everyone knew that she's not here, this kind of a feeling. And so mostly sitting down, and then food would be served to her, some simple food. Brahma Baba would be coordinating that, and she would be eating also, and walking, things like that. And someone was guarding, and supervising her continuously. But she was in a, like, she was not here. No one could ask her anything, or she would not be contact. And after that period, she came back and she tells what she experienced during that entire uh, period of week or longer. So what was happening at that time? If we see the world of stills, let us say here is a golden age stills, and the other side is the iron age stills. You have to imagine a perfect sketch. This is a little bit like a pumpkin. So everyone, gravity is over here, so everyone is at that point in the confluence age, and the soul of Dadi Gulzar left the body. He was not in those stills, and he had moved into the golden age stills. Just as we said, during the dreams, we can move away from the gravity and then come back. In this case, she was able to move away from the gravity, experience the golden age for continuous period of time. And after that period, she was able to understand that is what happens. Gravity ultimately pulls everyone. So she joins back. During that period of time, she does not remember anything that happened here. It's the body, what was happening to the body, what was she said, that she doesn't remember those 7 days. But drama was moving on. Drama was going, she would be deciding at some point that she want to walk, and that's what she did. And sometimes she would sit. Drama was happening according to the script. But then she comes back, and then she was able to share. Does that help? Does that example help? There may be many other cases of this kind. Also in the Lokic world, you will get something similar in the Lokic world. And it's in the psychology world, because they don't have the knowledge of the soul, they will say something else is happening here, and they will give a name to it and give some medications to it. But it is the soul temporarily has gone to other experiences, and then the soul comes back.
Quite a thing to wrap the head around, that the body can be moving according to the slides or the script, but the soul is not experiencing it. But that's exactly what the model is saying, isn't it? So the experiencer is experiencing something else, but the drama is more automatic pilot function almost. Yeah, something to reflect on. Is there a connection between deja vu and this model, the slides?
Yeah. And the one way to understand it is we remember the past last time we've been there, and then when it comes again, we feel this this had happened before. This has this kind of feeling. I had seen this before. That explains. We have been there before, last time, last cycle.
There's a question about understanding the unlimited disinterest, because in the Golden Age, there was a natural feeling of it being a play. But at this time, the feeling is of really enjoying the Confluence Age and this process of self-realization. How does it work, this understanding of unlimited disinterest? Because everyone appears to want the Golden Age, but what about this? Does it make sense, the question?
Yeah.
Good.
So our Confluence Age is not the monkey world. That is not the Confluence Age. Over here is the world of images and world of the story. But in essence, it is a foreign world. It is not our world. Our world remains the alokik and eternal, and that is where our family is. True family is here. Everything of ours. Father is here, and we ourselves are from there. So sometimes people say Confluence Age. For them, Confluence Age means sometimes completely lokik. They got some nice job and nice hat and some nice people around. They think there's a nice Confluence Age. But Confluence Age is Confluence Age because we are connected to the alokik. That's why it is the confluence. We are aware of the physical, we are aware of the Iron Age, we are aware of this madness of Ravan also. Confluence is you are aware of broad, all-round picture. But it is confluence because we now understand. Confluence is the highest age because we understand the highest on high home and highest on high Father and our highest truth, highest consciousness. We know it and we are experiencing it. Then it is the confluence age. For that, we certainly need to we have to let go of the monkey club. The Ravan is fully trapped in the monkey club. His thoughts are about that. His thoughts are about this, some people, position, possessions. That's where his thoughts are. And as was said, we can become Brahmin and we paint some corner white and we think it is Confluence Age, but we are in the same monkey club. We are still in the foreign world. And there may be people there, nice, they speak softly and sweetly, but it can change. It is unpredictable, that world. That is the empty world of images and empty. We don't take support of that world. We know it all, but we don't take support. Then it is confluence.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it came in the Murli. Baba said if you're taking sorrow, you're in the Iron Age. So confluence age, in a sense, is more where is the consciousness? So the soul is experiencing that unlimited bliss, beauty, contentment, security, and in parallel down below, Iron Age scenes are playing out. Is it something like that?
Yeah, very good.
About the phenomena with Daddy Gulzar, a comment here, the soul cannot go completely to another still, only a part of the consciousness. Is this correct?
Sure. You know, within us, when we use the word, and a different terminology, you know, but the word soul is experiencer. So wherever is experience happening, the experiencer is there fully, 100%. It is not part. But that is one side of it. That is when we say soul means 100%. We are talking about the experiencer. Then it is the soul. Along with the experiencer, there is another aspect within us, and that is jiva. More accurately, jiva. And that is like a life energy. And in biology, the word vital energy was used. So there is something different. It is not energy like what car has got, but life. There is a difference between plant and a stone, and plants have jiva. Stone hasn't got jiva. Stone has got just matter, but no jiva. But plants don't have the experiencer. Plants don't have the soul. So when Dadi Gulzar, the soul, went into trance and experienced golden age, the experiencer was in the golden age, 100%. But the jiv was still here. The jiv remains, wherever the body and life energy is. That's why the body is breathing. When any trance messenger goes to the subtle region, and body is here, and during that time, body is breathing and everything is going on. Just the soul is not here. Soul is experiencing another reality. Excellent.
Yeah, maybe. I
Yeah.
know if time, maybe another comment. How to be an easy effort maker, as there are still obviously many not straightforward, subtle things that can obstruct this.
I might underline the word reminders, revision. We need to put that in place. Many reminders for us. I might keeping some sketches in front of you in the room, your place, and write some important words. And today's word is Mahadani. If you catch hold of that word, Akhand Mahadani, that will bring in everything else, because it is uninterrupted, constant, and giver. We can only give at another level, at a non-stop, and that is important. It's a need. There is a need at the present time. Using the word paras is very important, because the whole game starts when we wake up to the subtle dimension But having said all this, we'll also write another word. It is fun. We are doing it with the energy of fun. It is also a game. We are playing the game. We don't want to be defeated. We don't go into mayas. We don't use the word fun in a Ravan's way, but we are playing with these ideas with the Father.
There was a question from the room discussion. One soul was sharing they feel they cannot constantly give because effort is still on making the best of the self. But in a way, this energy is, you feel safe. That's the position. You know, it's a game. So it's almost that positioning itself is giving, but you're also sustained. Is that how you see it, or any thoughts on this self first giving to the self?
Yeah, it is a good point. Here, the game is like this. If you are going to the second level, giving at a gross level, physical level, then all the other situations come. First, I have to have things before giving. Here, first step for us is the invisible witness wakes up. That is, you have to go to the highest and the best. And that is a game of a second. That is why the language was used, jump. You're not analyzing, not even planning, you jump. There are no 10 steps there. It is one step, 1 second. And the invisible witness wakes up. And he discovers he's the prince. He has got everything. He doesn't need to plan anything. He is lucky. He has always been lucky. He is now lucky. And like the Father, it is great that this giving reminds him that he has got what he has got. Giving is like a little mercy on ourselves. It reminds us what we got. And if that giving stops, the beggar will come in.
Reprogramming. Maybe a very quick medical question. Does the soul leave under general anesthesia?
Yes.
I suppose question, where did they go?
It is like just like sleep in a dream, and that the soul doesn't need to be there in the body. Soul goes into the dream stills, different stills. The soul goes into some silence, the experience. Doesn't need to be in the body. That's why there is no pain experienced.
Thank you. Question was coming from a nurse, so good to know. So thank you. I know we've come to time, and this homework from yesterday, putting soul consciousness into practice, because we are in this convincing film. So today's emphasis coming from them early of uninterrupted giving. So nice to install the instinct first, see how fortunate or how lucky, and then experience how to bypass that analysis that can come. So something quite simple it felt today. So if any final thoughts, Prashant, then we'll go for a video from Madhavan.
Yeah, let us have this aim, homework, and for one day at a time, and have fun. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all. Big thanks to translation team. And, uninterrupted translating and also giving. Thank you.
अभी अभ्यास करो एक सेकंड में निर्विकल्प निर्व्यर्थ संकल्प एकाकार एक बाप दूसरा न कोई एक ही संकल्प की एकाग्रता शक्ति के अनुभव में बैठ जाओ टाइम नहीं लगाना एक सेकंड